We define the derivative of a function f, denoted by f prime, as the function whose values at any x in the domain of f is given by f prime of x, or the derivative of x, is equal to the limit of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0 if the limit exists. So, familiar ba kayo dito sa limit na ito? So, in our previous lessons, this is actually the slope of the tangent line to the curve. And here, this is now defined as the derivative of a function f at any x in the domain of f. Note that the derivative is the slope of the tangent line to any point of a function. And if x sub 0 is in the domain of f for which the limit exists, then f prime of x, or the derivative of x, is equal to the limit of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Actually, yung slope ng tangent line is the derivative of a function at any x in the domain of f. So if we want to look for, or if we wish to find the derivative of a function, we are actually getting the slope of the tangent line. So other symbols that denote the derivative of f is y prime, pwede ring dy over dx, pwede ring d over dx of y, or d sub x of f of x. So all of that, derivative ng f or derivative ng function ang kanilang dinedenote or hinahanap. Now, for the first example, let's find the derivative of f of x equals x cubed at any point in the graph. So sabi ko nga kanina, if we want to find the derivative, gamitin lang natin yung slope ng tangent line kasi nga same lang naman silang dalawa. So for our solution, we have f prime of x equals the limit of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. So yan yung derivative natin. Yan yung slope of the tangent line. So by substituting now, x plus delta x cubed for f of x plus delta x minus x cubed for f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Now, if we expand this term here, we have x cubed plus 3x squared delta x plus 3x delta x squared plus delta x cubed minus x cubed all over delta x. Or if we simplify, that is now equal to 3x squared delta x plus 3x times delta x squared plus delta x cubed all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Ngayon, pag nag-direct substitution tayo dito, makikita natin na 0 over 0. So, hindi pwede. So, kailangan matanggal natin yung delta x sa baba, which is mag-factor out lang tayo ng isang delta x. Right? So, that becomes delta x times 3x squared plus 3x delta x plus delta x squared. Pwede na natin ngayong i-cancel yan. So, we now have the limit of 3x squared plus 3x delta x plus delta x squared as delta x approaches 0. Now, by direct substitution, that is 3x squared plus 3x times 0 plus 0 squared, or that is now f prime of x is equal to 3x squared. Therefore, at any point of the curve f of x equals x cubed, the slope of the tangent line at any point is f prime of x equals 3x squared, which is also the derivative. Now, let's move on to example number 2. Find dy over dx if y equals the square root of the quantity x minus 3. So, ganun ulit, gamitin ulit natin yung definition ng derivative or ng slope of a tangent line. So, we have dy over dx is equal to the limit of the square root of x plus delta x minus 3 minus the square root of x minus 3 all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Ngayon, since may radical tayo dito, anong gagawin natin to get rid of that? We need to multiply the conjugate. And what is the conjugate? We have the square root of x plus delta x minus 3 plus the square root of x minus 3, both to the numerator and to the denominator. And now, this simplifies to the limit of, so natanggal na yung square roots dito. So we now have x plus delta x minus 3 minus x minus 3 all over delta x times the quantity square root of x plus delta x minus 3 plus square root of x minus 3. Now, kung tatanggalin natin yung mga grouping symbol, we have x plus delta x minus 3 minus x plus 3 sa taas. Ngayon, pwede na natin tong tanggalin. Kasi magzi-zero yan, which leaves us with delta x over delta x times the quantity square root of x plus delta x minus 3 plus the square root of x minus 3. Again, pwede ulit natin itong i-cancel out kasi magiging 1 lang yan, which gives us the limit of 1 over the square root of x plus delta x minus 3 plus square root of x minus 3 as delta x approaches 0. And by direct substitution, that is just equal to 1 over the square root of x plus 0 minus 3 plus square root of x minus 3, or that is dy over dx now is equal to 1 over 2 times square root of x minus 3. Therefore, at any point of the curve y equals the square root of x minus 3, the slope of the tangent line at any point is dy over dx equals 1 over 2 square root of x minus 3, which is also the derivative. Now we move on to example number 3. We find y prime if y equals 8x minus 1. So by using the definition of derivative, we have y prime is equal to the limit of 8x plus delta x minus 1 minus 8x minus 1. So this is f of x plus delta x. This is f of x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. So pag tinanggal natin yung mga parentheses, we have 8x plus 8 delta x minus 1 minus 8x plus 1. Ngayon, pwede na natin i-cancel out tong part na to, which leaves us with the limit of 8 delta x over delta x as delta x approaches 0. At pwede rin natin i-cancel out itong part na to, which leaves us with the limit of 8 as delta x approaches 0. Or that is just equal to limit of a constant, y prime is equal to 8. So the derivative of y equals 8x minus 1 is equal to 8. For the next example, we find dy over dx if y equals the square root of 4 minus x. Again, by using the definition, dy over dx is equal to the limit of the square root of 4 minus x plus delta x minus the square root of 4 minus x all over delta x as delta x approaches 0. Again, since we have a crying baby. Okay, so since we have a radical here, we multiply with the conjugate. So, ito yung conjugate natin. Pinalitan lang natin ng plus. So, both sa numerator at sa denominator, this gives 4 minus x plus delta x minus 4 minus x all over delta x times the quantity square root of 4 minus x plus delta x plus square root of 4 minus x. Now, if we remove the parentheses, we have 4 minus x minus delta x minus 4 plus x sa taas. So, pwede na natin itong tanggalin. Which leaves us with negative of delta x over delta x times the quantity square root of 4 minus x plus delta x plus square root of 4 minus x. So, again, pwede rin natin itong tanggalin, which leaves us with the limit of negative 1 all over square root of 4 minus x minus delta x plus square root of 4 minus x. By direct substitution, that is dy over dx is equal to negative 1 over 2 square root of 4 minus x. And finally, we find f prime of 3 if f of x equals 6 over x. So for the last example, we first need to find the derivative of f of x. Tapos, i-evaluate natin yung derivative na yon at 3. So by definition, f prime of x is equal to the limit of 6 over x plus delta x minus 6 over x all over delta x. So pag ginawa nating similar fraction, magiging eto siya. Now, if we simplify this, this becomes this. So we have 6x minus 6 times x plus delta x all over x times delta x times x plus delta x. So pag pinasok natin ngayon yung 6 dito sa loob ng parenthesis, we have 6x minus 6x minus 6 delta x all over x times delta x times x plus delta x. At pwede na natin ngayong i-cancel tong part na to, which leaves us with negative 6 delta x over x times delta x times x plus delta x. At pwede rin natin i-cancel tong part na to. So we have the limit of negative 6 over x plus delta x as delta x approaches 0. By direct substitution, that is just equal to negative 6 over x times x plus 0, or that is negative 6 over x squared. So the derivative of f of x now is equal to negative 6 over x squared. But since hinahanap natin yung f prime of 3, i-evaluate natin ngayon yung f prime of x at 3. So that is now equal to negative 6 over 3 squared or negative 6 over 9. So that is negative 2/3.